When it comes to horse racing, you can never have too much information. With TwinSpires, you can place your bets with confidence, whether you use handicapping insights like our Brisnet speed ratings, prime power and past performances, the guidance of our experts' top picks, or just choose a name that catches your eye. Yes! No matter how you pick your horse, bet with TwinSpires. And now you can share the thrill with friends using our exclusive Bet Share feature.
Hello again, racing fans. Joe Kristufek and Kevin Kilroy joining you for TwinSpires, and it's a huge week. Obviously, at Saratoga, highlighted by the Belmont Stakes coming up on Saturday, Kevin. But as always, we have tremendous racing at Churchill Downs. Twilight Thursday tonight, followed by the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday cards. And we've got a stake on Saturday. It's the Mighty Beau. 2 stakes on Sunday, the biggest of which is for 3-year-olds, the Matt Winn. How's it going for you? And good to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, things are good. Always a scramble in my life right now, but excited to be back and diving into these races, these 5-day weeks, so many opportunities. And I think on Saturday, specifically this Mighty Beau, we've got a good shot to take a swing.
A lot of different categories for the stakes here at Churchill Downs. We've got a turf sprint on Saturday, the Matt Winn for 3-year-olds around 2 turns on dirt. We'll talk about that one in just a moment. But let's take a look at the field for the Mighty Beau. Mad Dash for cash on the grass at 5 furlongs. A lot of different ways you can go here. You're going to have a lot of square priced opportunities in the 6-8-1 range, Kevin. We've both got long shots that we're going to reveal a little bit later on. And there seems like there's a little bit of everything here. There is some speed from the gate. There are some horses that like to stalk and pounce, other deeper out the back closers. Try to visualize how you think the race is going to play out, who's best suited to the 5 furlong distance, and maybe who has the class to take the field down.
Yeah, I do think that Yes, I Am Free will be the leader. I think just a ton of speed on Ray's mount there. I think he's going to be able to get clear to the front, but I do think he will get some pressure in there as well. I think Rivet is going to be interested in the lead, assuming that we're in. It's a pretty quick turnaround for Asmussen's runner, who just ran a couple weeks ago. I do think that Coffee Maker should be pretty close up there, and possibly Nothing Better too. What do you think about that one? I think Nothing Better. Maybe, the last race is a little bit off, but I do think he'll be interested in the lead. So I don't think it's going to heat up so much that it's going to be a meltdown, but I do think that there's going to be a few up there. But I think it's an interesting field. There's some trip trouble to look into. There's a few of these who've had some, sort of sneaky tough trips, just in traffic, not be able to get some clearing. My top pick in here is one of those. So we'll see. We've got, I think, a good one to sort of spread in here and try to find some prices.
Let's take a look at Nothing Better, who's the very lukewarm Mike Battaglia, 7-2 morning line favorite. And he was 7th last out in a very deep edition of the Elusive Quality at Aqueduct. And watch what happens to him at the start. He's the 4 horse. He rears at the start, Kevin, and he literally spots a field 10, 12 to 15 lengths, lost all chance at the break, but he actually gets back into the race here as we take a look moving forward. He winds up finishing 7th. You see him there on the rail with the turquoise cap. He gets back into the race amazingly, does get a dream run up the rail, does finish 7th, does beat 4.5 lengths, but that was a deep field for the level. He's never done anything like that before. He's run some huge races in the past. He was 5th after setting the pace in the Grade 1 Jaipur at Belmont last June. And, with a better break from the gate, I think he's going to be forward, like you mentioned. Nothing Better is here for a reason for Jorge Duarte, a Mid-Atlantic trainer who's shipping him all the way here to Churchill Downs for this race. Nothing Better for me at odds of 7-2. We'll see how low the price goes, but I think there are a lot of bettable commodities in here, and I think the price will be decent enough.
Yeah, it does seem like Nothing Better does take money, in past races. That race was hilarious. I watched it back, a few times with the regular view, and I was like, wait a minute, where's the 4? Is the 4 in this race? He just he rears up and he pauses there for a long time, and then he just he comes home. But he should be forward. I think he draws nicely. Corrales up on him. We'll see if Corrales can get back into form. I think that's one question mark I have, but he's obviously a great turf sprint rider in here. So Nothing Better, if the price is right, I was curious to see that Nothing Better was the favorite in here, and then Panther Island, mine was a second choice. I wasn't seeing that coming. I thought Panther Island was a little bit sneaky, so we'll see how the odds go for the number 2. But we've got 2 coming from this barn. We've got Leparoux on this one, and we've got Ray up on the other one, the likely front runner. I think Panther Island can trip out, can be on the rail, is one who probably in that tracking position. Last out in the Shakertown was one of those races where just in traffic, in uncomfortable spots throughout, slight slight difficulty at the beginning, but just couldn't get clear from this field and get into some good running position. I think it was an interesting flow to this race. You kind of see all the horses are coming outside, trying to get on the better going there, as the rail was a little bit tough at Keeneland that day, and it made it tough for him to produce late. I think he's got more for us. I think he can be in a better spot than that. And if we look, 2 back there in the Silks run, ran a nice second to Coppola, who has put some good runs together, and it can be formful at times. So I think Panther Island, I'd like to see 6-1, Joe. We'll see if I'm going to get that. Every once in a while we see the money go towards Panther Island, but it hasn't been recently. So I'm thinking we can get a better price than 4-1.
We both took horses that should take some action to a large extent. Let's talk some long shots, Kevin. I looked at the number 3, Mischievous Rogue, a horse I'm very familiar with as my long shot here. In the slop in his last 2 races, he looked really good at Fairgrounds in December, but did not look good in New Orleans. And the Colonel Power in the follow-up start, Dougie Collins is regrouped with him, gets him back on the grass, and he's run some massive races on the turf. Hasn't been seen since mid-February. Long string of workouts for a high-percentage trainer. The Axeman, Luan Machado, knows Mischievous Rogue well. He's 15-1 on the morning line. I think he's going to outperform those odds. With that stalk and pound style, he's going to be my long shot here.
Yeah, I think it's just you just draw a line through that last race. That just didn't unfold well for him. I mean, he's run well on slot before, but tough start there at the beginning. Cowan just does great in all categories, right? And definitely good with the long layoff. So I think he's one that you can trust to be able to run well. He hasn't really faced this level of competition, so I think that's one question mark. But I think he could be sneaky in here for sure.
Now, your long shot is a horse that has pulled off some upsets in his career, 7 for 37 lifetime. Doesn't have the bankroll earnings per start of some of these, 327,000 in the bank. The race at Indiana last time, maybe it was a start that he needed, but you're on charcoal, and he's named that for a reason.
Yeah, he definitely has that nice gray color to him. Just seeing his form cycle and the way he rolls forward, it's just kind of a consistent deal where he starts to tail off right before that layoff, and then he needs one to get rolling. So, I think he draws a little bit of a tough spot, but he should be kicking late in here. And I think 30-1, anything like that is a huge price on him. 22-1, and I'm interested on that win end. He's definitely put some good efforts forward, a little bit shy in the winner's circle sometimes, but I think he could be interested in here. And, in a field that it really is just hard to see who's the one that you can trust and really lean on. Coffee Maker is going to take a ton of money for Wesley Ward. We'll see who else does, but I think it's one of these races where I want to gather up, a few who are going to offer prices spread into that exacta pool, but also in my multi-race wagers. Panther Island, Bad Beat Bryant, I think has had some sneaky tough trips. Edge to Edge, Chris Hartman's runner, quite interesting in terms of his every other pattern of running really well. Turf is a question for Edge to Edge, whether he wants to be in this race or was hoping it was going to rain off. Yes, I'm Free at 10-1 is a good price. Charcoal as well. Those are the ones that I really want to use.
All right, let's switch gears from Saturday's Mighty Beau to Sunday at Churchill. The Grade 3 Matt Winn at a mile and a 16th. A couple of horses exiting the Kentucky Derby here. Fan favorite West Saratoga for Larry Demerit. Also Society Man for Danny Gargan. They finished 12th and 16th respectively in the run for the Roses. This is a shorter distance and obviously an easier field. The morning line favorite is a Who Day for Tommy Drury. Last seen running in the Pat Day Mile, finished 4th, had an uncomfortable trip, was wide, did gallop out very nicely, Kevin, and you and I are both interested in Who Day.
Yeah, he galloped out in front. He's got that grinding finish, so I just don't think there's any problem with him going longer. He tended to the pace a little bit. It was a hot pace in there, but he was just caught wide and just in between, in tight, in traffic throughout, really uncomfortable, especially exchanging bumps there at the top of the stretch. So I think he's got some good excuses. I think he should move forward off of that run. Short price is hard to get excited about that, but we'll see. It's an interesting field, Joe. It's hard to know who to trust, but Houday is the one that really, I think, just really stands out as the one that you can see the form and actually has an excuse that was a disadvantage, as opposed a few of these had some advantage runs last time.
Yeah, and you and I are both on top with Houday, and I think it's not only the horse's resume and the upside, but also the potential for this race not having a lot of steam up front, Kevin. This horse stretching out from a one-turn mile should be forward, if not on the lead here with Brian Hernandez Jr. aboard. Who else do you see being part of the pace?
Well, I mean, if Scatify runs in here, he's stretching out, right? And he's shown some early speed, so I can see him getting to the front. I think Northern Flame is an absolute need the lead horse. I think you can just draw a line through that last race. Just didn't go well for him at all in the Pate Mile. His work tab has been heating up. McPeak Barn has definitely had a nice win here yesterday, first and third in that last race with that backstretch Rose horse. I think Northern Flame, is a full send from the rail, and I think that could be dangerous. Nash is what I'm hearing is that probably going to run in Saratoga. I think he could have been interested in the lead and maybe could have been dominant in here. It might be the one that you want to lean on if he does wind up here, and I'm wrong about that. Mighty Message for Amos. It could be the way to go with Christian Torres. He's been riding aggressively here at Churchill Downs. It's been the full send as much as possible for him from what I've been seeing. So that was a really easy trip for Mighty Message last time. Perfect position on a forward track. Hard to love that one. If we are live, like you say often, then we will be a short price, right? So it's hard to be excited about Mighty Message, but I think he could be interested in the front.
Yeah, you mentioned Scatify. Does get Jose Ortiz here. John Sadler sends this one in, began the career in Southern California, ran third earlier on in the year in the Lewis, the grade 3 at Santa Anita. Horses tried a little bit of everything, tried turf last out, ran second, had a little bit of a tough trip. Kevin broke slowly, had a wall of horses in front of him, got a dream run thereafter, split rivals late and galloped out nicely. I thought it was a performance that you can upgrade. Now he comes here for West Point Thoroughbreds and John Sadler, back on dirt, back on back in a two-turn race, going a mile and a 16th, and he lures Jose Ortiz in a race that doesn't have a lot of speed. So that would be my long shot. The other one I think has got a shot is Next Level. I was kind of juggling between the two as my long shot play here, but he's a deeper out the back closer, although I do think that other than that he ran in last out, going a mile and 3/16 against older horses, was a very good performance. So Next Level is another horse I'm going to use. I'm going to lean on Houday. I'm also going to utilize my long shot play here and Scatify. Anybody else in this field that you're interested in using?
Yeah, Next Level is definitely interesting. He got steadied, as his lane got pinched early on, and it made it really tough in a slow pace. Seems to be coming forward. The expectations have always been there. There's just a lot of wild cards here, Joe. I mean, Luna Tap looked very green as grass in that win last time. Beat nobody, but unexposed. Possibly could be making that nice step forward. Hard to get really excited. And of course, Brad Cox has got Rocketeer, who, a really nice, easy trip last time, got beat by, a slop specialist who ran 6 in the Peter Pan next out, that native land. So it was on the slop, got beat by a slop specialist. I think possibly that could be an excuse, and you got to expect Rocketeer to be moving forward. The works have looked decent, nothing too exciting in the mornings from what I've seen from them. You think it's going to be probably a shorter price than that, but if they let Rocketeer go at that 6-1, I think you've got to take a little bit of an interest in him on the win end. Hard for me to love these returning from the Kentucky Derby, West Saratoga. I think will be bet shorter than that price. And then also Society Man. I think it's a tough race to come out of and to really perform at your top level. But, I think both of those could get it done. Just any of these horses could get it done, Joe. This is absolute race where I just watch in the market and see where I find the value, because it's really hard to trust anybody besides Houday.
Yeah, Nash most likely going to run Friday in the grade 1 Woody Stevens at Saratoga. If he's in the race, completely changes the betting prospectus for the rest of these individuals. Again, the Mighty Beau coming up on Saturday at Churchill and the Matt Winn coming up on Sunday. And don't forget about the money back offers on designated races. Make sure you opt in if you haven't already. If you bet a horse to win and they run second or third in those designated races at Churchill Downs, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll give you up to $10 back. Kevin, I mentioned the Belmont Stakes coming up on Saturday at Saratoga. Different kind of Belmont this year at 1.25 miles at Saratoga than the 1.5 miles at Belmont. Let's take a look at the field, and it's a very good one for the final jewel of racing's Triple Crown. Sierra Leone, the morning line favorite. I'm not surprised. He's a deserving favorite here, going 1.25 miles, coming in fresh for Chad Brown. I think he's going to be super tough to beat. Anna Marie had a really, really difficult Kentucky Derby. He's been training exceptionally well for Whit Beckman in recent weeks. I like them going into the Derby. I think he's got an opportunity to really put his best foot forward here at a big price. Who are you looking at? Who interests you? And who are you thinking about betting without getting too deep into the handicapping of the race?
Yeah, I mean, Sierra Leone's the obvious pick in here, most likely winner for sure. But Antiquarian, I think, is the one that's going to offer value, and I'm interested in it. I think took a really good step forward in the Peter Pan, winning that one last time. Should be in a good position. I think has an excuse in the Louisiana Derby, breaking through the gate before that started, was still pretty green. Just looking at that third raft form, I think we're just sitting on a new top effort. It's just a question if Sierra Leone moves forward off of that one. But those two will be in my exacta for sure.
All right, don't forget at TwinSpires, great promotions the entirety of Belmont Week at Saratoga as well, money back offers. Make sure you take advantage of that. Make sure you take advantage of all the promotions at TwinSpires. It is fast, it is safe, it is easy to use. Great promotions at TwinSpires, the place to play the races. Kevin, any quick final thoughts here? Looks like our weather forecast looks good, first and foremost, and tremendous cards. I know eyes are on Saratoga this week, but lots of opportunities at Churchill Downs as well.
Yeah, we've got a huge carryover in that Derby City Pick 6 coming in today. I think it's, around 147,000. So I'm excited to take a swing in that, or offer some ideas about how to take a swing in that.
All right, don't forget first post tonight at Churchill Downs will be at 5 p.m. for a Twilight Thursday. Churchill Downs today, presented by TwinSpires, will be on at 4 o'clock. For Kevin Kilroy, I'm Joe Kristufek. Best of luck this weekend.